Hi everybody, how you doing today? We're starting a new book today called One Day in the Alpine Tundra. Chapter 1. An hour after sunrise on August 16th, a huge slab of rock slipped. It lay at the 10,000 feet on the top of a rendezvous mountain in the Teton Mountains of Wyoming. It had been cracking in the heat and cold for centuries, and now on August 16th at 7:20 a.m. was poised to fall. The snowfall, the wind blast of one more than 30 miles per hour, even the vibrations from the thunder cap would be all that was needed to send this monolith crashing 5,000 feet below into the Alpine tundra. Below, on the fall line of the slab of rock, Johnny Moore was sleeping in his mountain tent in the grass of the meadow. The wind swept softly. A mountaintop is a land of great peace or great violence. At 8 a.m., a marmot, the woodchuck of the high country, left its burrow in a boulder field and climbed out on his lookout post. Perched under a teetering chunk of rock, he whistled a shrill note reminiscent of a boy calling his dog. The whistle told marmots who he was, the boss of this boulder field. Having made his statement, he sneezed and sat upon his haunches. Under him was a mat of orange lichens. Lichens are the pioneer plants of the mountaintops, growing at higher altitudes than all others. Half algae, half fungus, the flat gray, green, orange, black, purple, and red plants need only a nick in the rock to get a root hold and on a spray of a snow melt or rain to grow on. The rock hung quietly above the Alpine tundra. The Alpine tundra is a community of plants and animals that have adapted to the harsh climate on the tops of tall mountains. It begins where the trees stop growing in the land. It is the land of grass, wildflowers, mosses, and animals that can find food and shelter among these plants. The Alpine tundra is made up of several smaller communities. The big boulders break into rocks, and the rocks into stones, and the stones into gravel and screed. The screed breaks up into sand, and as they roll, pieces sort themselves by size. The big boulders are at the lowest level. The others are higher. Each has its own plants and animals. Marmots and lichens live in the boulder fields. The little pika, a close relative of the rabbits, lives in the dandelions on the rocky talus slopes. Meadow mice, called voles, weasels, mosses, and grass live on the fell fields or stone fields. There are snow beds or marshes where the snowfields had melted. Here, sedges grow and insects dwell. Even the unmelted snow is a home. Algae and primitive insects and springtails live on the icy surface. At the down mountain edge of the Alpine tundra lies the Krummholz, clusters of dwarfed trees that have been twisted by the wind and crushed by the ice. Birds and an occasional bull elk find shelter here. Up mountain from the Krummholz, the wind is so strong and the soil so cold that growing season is so short that no trees can even grow there. The wild, fresh wilderness is called the Alpine tundra, the land above the trees. It is beset by bad weather, blizzards, high winds, unremitting ice, lightning, and blazing sunlight. And at 10,000 feet, there is a 25% chance that there's more light than at sea level, and twice as much ultraviolet radiation. Water is scarce on the tundra, and in the winter it is not available because it is frozen. In spring and summer, the snow melt and rain runoff through the rocks and sand leaves the soil dry. Geological disasters beset the Alpine tundra. Snow avalanches, glaciers scour and cut. The wind, water, and ice erode, and monoliths split off, fall, and crash down on the wild things. The Alpine tundra in the United States lies atop the tallest mountains, under the clouds or in the radiant sun. It is on the summits of the Sierra Nevada and southern Cascade Mountains in California, on the Olympic Mountains and the northern Cascades of Washington, on the tops of the Rockies in the Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado, on the peaks of the Great Basins in Nevada, Utah, Oregon, and California. In the east, the Alpine tundra is found on summits of the Presidential Range, of the White Mountains of New Hampshire, the Adirondacks of New York, and Mount Katahdin in Maine. Farther north the mountains lie, the lower the Alpine tundra begins. In Southern California's Sierra Nevada, it starts at 10,500 feet. In the Teton Mountains of Wyoming, it appears at approximately 9,500 feet. And in the Cascades and Olympic Mountains, it is at 6,500 feet. The Alpine Tundra on the presidential range of New Hampshire is low. It's between 4,200 and 5,000 feet. Because a major east-west storm path passes over these mountains, winds of over 300 miles per hour have been recorded on Mount Washington. This kills trees and most plants. Well, that's the end of today's. This here sounds like it's going to be a really interesting book. Hey, keep on working. Remember, everything you do counts. It's very important. We miss you here, and we'll talk to you soon. Remember, keep on reading. It won't hurt you.